What's up, everybody? Sal from To The Bigs, your number one source for everything MLB prospects, dynasty owners, Bowman collectors, or just fans of the game that want to see tomorrow's superstars first. Subscribe to the channel, subscribe to tothebigs.com for our free newsletter, exclusive content, rankings, analysis all winter and all season long. We've posted a ton recently, our Bowman draft coverage, Bowman Chrome, prospect rankings by position, top Bowman value ads. I give you 15 names you should be buying right now. Today, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to give you 5 bounce back candidates for 2026. These are top prospects that struggled last year for specific reasons that I think will bounce back and have a tremendous year. Baseball development is not linear. There are years that prospects have to go through several different levels after they get drafted just to have a shot at the pros. And we know 99% of players that get drafted do not ever see a major league field. Derek Jeter said it best in an interview years ago, probably 2 decades ago, in front of stars of all different sports, Michael Jordan, Serena Williams, Roy Jones Jr., and more. And he said, baseball is different. It's a humbling game. The way you go through ups and downs and ebbs and flows, you can have the coldest stretch of your career for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then become the hottest hitter. You could make a ton of contact and the fielders can catch the ball. There's not as much uncertainty as there is with baseball every at bat, every week, every month. So I'm going to give you 5 prospects who had those down years last year, who I think are going to jump back and have a tremendous 2026 and get back into the ranks. Number 5, Yoelin Cespedes, Boston Red Sox, second baseman, international signing 2 years ago. Now, a lot of these young international signings play in the DSL league in their first year. That's the Dominican Summer League. It's kind of what they call rookie ball before you come over to A ball and the stateside levels, where it becomes increasingly more difficult and facing closer to major league pitching. A lot of those international signings, 16, 17 years old, raw power, raw tools, will play tremendously well, hit well in the DSL, come over to A ball and completely fall flat when they face that tough pitching. Yoelin Cespedes did that. However, even though the slash line was down across the board, there are some underlying metrics that make me excited. First, his contact rate stayed at 80% when he came from DSL over to stateside. So he's not swinging and missing as much more. He's not chasing balls as much. And the hard hit rate actually increased to 23%, which means he was actually making very good contact on those balls. So I love that. The next thing I love is that because of this development, it takes time. He had his best month in the end of the season in August, where he had a 750 OPS, which is not great, but it was 100 points higher than July and 200 points higher than June, which shows that he was adapting and adjusting to that pitching. Still only a teenager, I expect him to come into A ball and high A this year and have a really good year and continue that growth and development. Number 4, a To The Bigs favorite since we became To The Bigs 2-3 years ago. Xavier Isaac, Tampa Bay Rays first baseman. Now, this guy has some of the most insane raw power of anyone in baseball, maybe outside of Bryce Eldridge. The problem, swing and miss. Tall lefty, he chases. However, he walks a lot, which is kind of ironic. But he came out this year and said that he had brain surgery due to a personal health issue. Now, that is terrible. However, the good news is he has said that he's fully healthy, fully recovered, and he is coming back stronger than ever. And that issue is actually impacting his eyesight. So, this is great news that he's healthy again, first and foremost. But second, he in the lower levels prior to this injury had a 400 plus OBP. Now, although he still hit in like the 230, 240, 250 range, the K rate was only about 20% compared to like 35, 40% last year and the end of the year prior. So I love the fact that now that he's healthy, he could be getting back to that 20% K rate, 260, 270 batting average, where he has a 400 plus OBP anyway and a 500 plus slugging percentage. That raw power can get unleashed if he is healthy and can make contact again like he did at the lower levels. Expect a big redemption season in double and triple A for Xavier Isaac. Thayron Liranzo, catcher, first baseman, Detroit Tigers. This is a kid that came over from the LA Dodgers, and he's been in 2 great programs, 2 great organizations that know how to develop hitters. However, most prospects say that the biggest jump, the hardest jump in levels in the minor leagues is from high A to double A. Lorenzo felt that. His entire slash was down very drastically. His K rate jumped 8 percentage points. His walk rate dropped 5 percentage points. His contact rate dropped 6 percentage points. So everything was down. However, the home run to fly ball ratio was the same in each level, which shows that when he's making contact, the ball's going out of the park. He's hitting the ball extremely hard at a 32% hard hit rate, which was top 20 in the nation across all levels of minor league baseball. I like him in that system that develops tremendous hitting talent over the past decade. to be able to work on those swing and misses, work on those chases. And if he can continue to make more contact, that hard hit rate will develop some unbelievable balls in play and increase that average and increase that contact, and in turn get him back on the map for a redemption year. Number 2, Jaison Chourio, outfielder for the Cleveland Guardians, brother of Jackson Chourio. Now, I was super excited for him last year. He was my big play, my big bet, and I lost. I thought that he was going to come back after being a guy that hit 270 with a 430, 440 OBP. This guy walks, he gets on base, he has tremendous plate discipline, he has great contact rates, he steals 40, 50 bases. And I thought that last year was going to be the year that he increased and developed that power as he turns 20 years old, and then become that 5-tool player that not many were anticipating him becoming because of that lack of power, but I thought that was coming. It was not. He struggled last year. He had injury and missed about half the season. Now I expect him fully healthy again to come back in, get that contact back on track after dealing with injuries last year and not being able to hit as well, and bring that power that I was anticipating beforehand too. Just looking at some of his numbers, even with a 235 average last year and an increased K rate, he still had a 380 OBP. That's pretty crazy to have 150 points above your average as an OBP. So I think he'll be turning 21 and he should get back on track to get that average up, start hitting the ball harder as he keeps building into his body, and have that big redemption year I was looking for as well. Finally, number 1, how about another Cleveland Guardian? Welbyn Francisca, middle infielder, who was signed a couple years back in the international signing period. Now, he's had a year and a half in A-ball, and he's still not turning 20 until this summer. So he had a great year the year before, and he struggled a little bit last year. Let me show you why he was on my top international prospects list from last winter. In 291 at-bats in 2024, he had an 82% contact rate, a 326 411 slash, and was consistent across that DSL to A-ball increase that year. The problems were that he had a 55% ground ball rate. He's 5'8", 5'9". He's never going to have tremendous power, but the power wasn't there at all. So he hit a ton of ground balls, soft contact, but he was getting hits and getting on base. I thought last year he was going to show that improvement in getting more barrels, dealing with stateside developers at the A-ball and high A levels for the Guardians who know how to also develop a player. I thought he would be able to build that power and build that muscle and start to hit the ball harder and get some loft on it. He didn't. Kind of maintain the same issues, tons of ground balls, soft hit, soft contact, and so on. But this year, I think he's going to turn that around. If you look at his social media, all he's been doing is lifting. So my thing is that I believe the Guardians will have a pretty strict muscle build program for him, not just throughout the winter, but through the entire season as well. And they'll focus on getting more loft on the ball for him. Now, if he can get that 15% hard hit rate up, even 5 percentage points to 20%, his entire slash will drastically go up because, like I said, he gets on base even though he's not hitting the ball hard, but he's got a beautiful swing, nice righty swing. Take a look at some of the video, and if you can see him developing a little bit going into the season, he's still not turning 20 until the summer, so he'll have a whole year to be in high A, possibly double A, where he can continue to develop that power. I see him being a good high teens with a 25-30 stolen base, high teens home run, 25-30 stolen base guy who could hit 280, 290 and be a great fielder as well. And that is very valuable for a second baseman. Look for him to have a big comeback year in 2026. Those are my top 5 bounce back candidates. Check us out again on tothebigs.com for the full write-up and analysis. Subscribe to the channel. We have so much more coming. Top farm systems in baseball, spring invites, and likeliness of debuts with timing for all of the top prospects. Everything coming over the next month. Super excited. Thanks for all the support. Keep up with us.